we have Sony reportedly wants to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield into other multiverse stuff that will not be related to the MCU. Go figure. Good idea or another classic Sony bad idea?
Good idea. I'm going to take this right
Oh.
away. This, about a year ago, a couple months ago, I don't know, I've talked about my keys to the Sonyverse and what I would do if I had executive control from Sony. And both of my plans involved Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield getting their own movies and getting Spider-Man 4, TASM 3, and like while Tom does his own thing, they could run them concurrently. We have like two different Supermans going on with Superman and Lois, DCU Superman, and My Adventures of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So why not three Spider-Men?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be easy. Make them all do their own things. The demand is there after No Way Home, and it'll be actual Sony using a film universe with their two main characters instead of all these stupid anti-heroes that have Spider-Man references.
Well, you put some
I don't even want to
respect
go
on
into
Craven's
Venom
name.
3. I don't even want to get into the Venom 3 plot leaks or rumors right now. So I think it would be a great idea for Sony to eat billions and billions of dollars across three different Spider-Man franchises, and even if they connect with one another, don't connect with one another, like the demand is there for us to want to see Toby's story continue, Andrew's story continue, and then Tom has his MCU story to continue too.
Do you not? Okay, just quick question though, because I think it's a decent idea, but at the same time, I can't help but think, would this not burn people out on Spider-Man?
Don't burn losers out on Spider-Man. I have my bias, but they're three different takes on the character, especially having watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 and then Homecoming like back to back within a day from one another. And I know I got this tattoo in my bias, but I don't think it will be that much of a fatigue just because they're all very different. Like if they're giving us the same stories over and over, that's a different story. But like you could do a old man Toby and give him like something similar to Peter B. Parker and kind of go give him like a dad or older Spider-Man route, and then have Tom still or not have Andrew still deal with that he never got his symbiote. He could get his symbiote. They could always make it their own, kind of like what Spider-Man 2 did and changed a little bit about the Venom story. Or actually, speaking of Dark Web right here, has a lot to do with freaking Ben Reilly and clones. We could see a cool like Ben Reilly, and I think the TASM universe would be a great universe for that, just given how Oscorp is structured over there to get into cloning and potential chasm, or there's just so much that different like takes and storylines that they could do that I don't think it'll be too oversaturated. Unless they drop them all like year
That's
after
a sign. That's
year.
a sign.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this out really quick.
Oh, I lost my page too.
If they brought back a solo Toby and a solo Andrew, I hope that it would lead to, and we've said it many times on this channel, the Inheritors. If we can go through and get one more of each of those potentially, or do, I think it actually would be kind of cool if they did one movie and just ran it. It's Tom and Toby's movie, but you could just keep flipping, like take some inspiration from what Into and Across the Spider-Verse have done and make it one special movie that is just kind of catching you up on where these other spider people are.
Yeah.
And I think you could have the core be Toby and Andrew, and then leverage, your Prime series and those things to kind of build up some other characters that have kind of been here and just do one big Spider-Verse story. I think that's the next thing that I'd be looking at. Like we got our Infinity Saga, we got our X-Men 97, we're getting our DC stuff. I think that the unfinished piece for me is knowing that a Toby and Andrew story are still unfinished. I would like to see like a complete closure because I think No Way Home opened up a chapter that's blank, and I think they just need to. And it does kind of sound like a live action ripoff of Spider-Verse, but I think you're really weaving all of those stories together to create one big Spider-Verse story where it goes back to like Spider-Brando said, it's beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've established in a casual fan's perspective that the Spider-Verse is like all the Spider-Man. So I mean, heck, even if Sony and Marvel somehow agreed to even incorporate stuff from the Spider-Verse movies into this big live action movie, I think you could do that. If you do like a big two-parter, I think that could work really well. I just think if you end up doing Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man 3, or the Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then Spider-Man 4, and then Beyond the Spider-Verse, and then whatever is after Beyond the Spider-Verse, because we know they're not done with Miles. I just think people are going to end up being like, no, that Spider-Man's overdone. Like, Spider-Man I'm tired of Spider-Man. I want something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough. It's tough. I think in like talking about it, you're like, but if it was in production and it was coming out in theaters, I darn sure would be there first the first day I could be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I definitely would too. We all three of us would be there.
Quick question from Morgan, from the casual perspective, do you think they would care for solo movies and whatnot? No.
I was gonna say, I think after the first one, they might end up being like, "What's the point of this?"
That's the thing. There has to be an end in sight.
Yeah.
And I think that would bring more investment because you don't know when it's going to come. So that's why I'm saying, like, if it was like a special type of movie, but yeah, I think that this would have to be attached to Spider-Verse, animated Spider-Verse in some way for me personally to make it make sense.
Group them all.
Yeah.
Group them all together and just make a big two-parter. And I think that makes everybody happy.
Listen, I'll say this is the last thing I'll say on this topic. If they could somehow pull out, maybe not Miles, but pull Miguel out, and we get a 2099 crossover instead of the assumed Miles crossover, maybe with someone somehow, some way, I would rather see that interaction live action wise with a 2099 because we've never really gotten that for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. It's just an idea that, you know, we don't work for Sony, but if Sony wanted us to,
Give me the keys.
I was about to say, give the keys to Spider-Brando because he'll make you money.